So sorry, but I'm not taking off my glass.
Lockyer takes a shot. It's low. He's got it. I think he's got it.
Merlin, are you going to speak?
But for me, it was a winner. David.
Well, I'm afraid it wasn't for me, Margaret.
Thank God you're here. Grandma's been raped.
On. Welcome back to one and all, to all in one. Welcome back to On the Air Tonight, the one and only free-to-air podcast that reviews free-to-air content in Australia on the internet. This week,
we got something special for you.
and I'm Tom.
And I'm Jacob. And Giddy.
Giggity goo.
Giggity up.
How are you, bro?
Mate, I'm doing well. Doing very well.
Doing well?
It's just the highlight of our week, just coming in here and having a bloody yarn, watching some subpar entertainment.
Look, when the subpar entertainment is married at first sight, it's hard not to get excited about it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, because you get to sit down for an hour of content, but you sit down for 2 hours because of commercials. That's the price you pay.
But it's a throwback, isn't it? This is our second MAFS episode.
It is, yes. We're doing the sequel. The show was so invigorating and rewarding to watch the first time. We have got a surplus of other things to watch. It's not like we were bottom of the barrel.
The well is not run dry just yet.
No. We just decided to watch the number one show in Australia this week, and
We figured as the only free-to-air podcast in the world, we thought we'd do our part. And
Exactly.
we'd watch the biggest free-to-air television show in the world.
you
You could argue it would be remiss of us to not do it.
I think, we're doing our due diligence by watching this.
And we do it for you. The potata, the spud, the people who show up week in, week out. We do it for the spuds, so you don't have to watch it.
Yeah. True battle as you are.
But this just took me back to a simpler time, Jacob, when we were just sitting here in Trademark Studios, watching Fried Rice Bryce battle it out with the lead singer from 30 Seconds to Mars.
Yeah, Jared Leto.
The lead singer from My Chemical Romance.
That guy.
Remember that guy's fucking head?
Yes,
Yeah.
I do. Yep.
A simpler time.
Yep, he's like his weirdly overweight brother.
Yeah. Again, if you're a long-time listener or just an avid MAFS fan, you know exactly who we're talking about.
Exactly who we're talking about. But before we do get into that, we do have just our weekly housekeeping to get through, and that involves 40 minutes of us talking gobbledygook. We promise it won't be 40 minutes.
We'll get to MAFS.
It'll be an hour and a half, but
Oi, hold your horses.
slow your roll there, big fella.
Don't expect us to just cut to the chase, because we won't. It's not that kind of podcast.
And I only ask this not because I care about you, but because you do have a weapon in front of you. You're the one holding the cricket bat this week. So I want to know, how are you?
Good, mate. Good.
Oh, that was authoritative. Drop the voice a couple of octaves, let the balls fall out of your fucking boxes, and yeah, good, mate.
The bat adds a couple of octaves.
Oh yeah, the testosterone levels are through the roof.
Yeah. How am I? I'm good.
Yeah?
I'm coming off the back of a well-balanced weekend, I would say.
Are you now?
Yeah.
That's a big change from the status quo.
Well, I would say that it was well-balanced in that it was just the right amount of ripping and tearing and just the right amount of wholesomeness and relaxing.
Now, ripping and tearing, for those at home playing along, this is a Gold Coast term. So this is a very regional, dialect. This is an idiosyncrasy that isn't used by, for lack of a better term, civilized humans.
You want me to educate the metropolitan audience?
What does one do when they rip and tear, Tom?
Ripping and tearing is when you're with company with which you enjoy. And you can be doing anything. It can come in many forms, ripping and tearing. Ripping and tearing can be knock off drinks on a Friday. The beer's fridge opens at 3.
If you work in a place fortunate enough to have a beer fridge.
Of course. Goes without saying.
Sure.
If you don't, then
Get a new job.
find another way to rip and tear, you know?
Probably don't want you drinking at the hospital anyway.
Yeah, nurses, you don't, sorry, but you almost never get to rip and tear.
If you need a buzz, there's hand sanitizer at every corner of the hospital.
Yeah, that's about as close as it gets to ripping and tearing for you guys.
Mm-hmm.
But your version of ripping and tearing is like saving a baby, saving an old man, just saving a life.
Ripping into, mortality and bringing people back to tear through life.
Tearing people back from death. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's your ripping and tearing, our ripping and tearing, and it really puts things into perspective of how important our jobs are and what we contribute to society compared to people in the medical industry, doctors, builders even. But our ripping and tearing is, just for example, beer fridge opens at 3, out on the balcony, Coronas, Stone and Woods, Brookvale Unions, seltzers,
BCF beer.
BCF beer.
And that's exactly what it sounds like. We got a carton of boating, camping, and fishing store sponsored beers into our office.
And it's beer. It tastes like free beer.
Barely.
It tastes like a beer that is stocked in a beer fridge of a workplace.
You ever just gone down to your father's basement and there just seems to be one lone beer that's tucked under the greasy workbench. It's covered in dirt, a couple of dead cockies. It's a hammer and tongs of all ones. And because of your choices in life and who you are, you just decide to rip into that warm, potentially expired, potentially poisonous beer.
Yeah, it's the old dusty VB Tawley.
Have you been there?
The VB
You've been in
long
that situation before?
Oh, every Friday.
Okay,
Yeah.
brilliant. Just wanted to make sure we're on the same page.
You know Dad has a shed, right?
Yes.
Where he keeps his tools and his leftover
Keeps
beer.
his mathematics tools,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
his half-finished bowls of rolled oats.
You go down there and you like dust off the compass or like the calculator.
Yes.
And you're like, okay. And there's some oats next to it.
Yep.
Fantastic.
And there's one BCF beer. But anyway, I led you astray off your story. So ripping and tearing, having beers on a Friday afternoon with some of your best comrades from work.
You drink from 3 till 5. The beer fridge closes at 5. Obviously, it's a workplace.
Sure.
It's a workplace. It's not a strip club, okay? We have standards. The beer fridge closes at 5.
If there's a strip club that has free drinks from 3 till 5, let me know.
Well, look, we're not made of money at SCA. You know, they need if they left it open for another hour, it would be emptied, and the office manager would not be happy. Shout out, Nikki. We move on to Lefties down the road. We move on to Caxton Street down the road, and then we move on to obviously Blutes, ripping and tearing. Ripping and or tearing. And when you get to Blutes, so that's what happened this weekend. I did end up at Blutes.
You did. The infamous karaoke bar that the rock that we've built our
The thing we've made a career out
our
of.
palace upon, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, where would we be without Blutes?
Probably with a more healthier liver.
Probably, but where would Blutes be without us is the real question.
Good point. Good point.
In the ground. So you might be thinking to yourself, oh, wow, another Blutes story. Oh, Tom went to Blutes. Oh, my God, how original. Tom went to Blutes. Again? Oh, my God. It was a Friday and he went to Blutes? What'd you sing? Drop it like it's hot? That's so crazy, dude.
So original.
For the 8th time?
Oh, my goodness.
Wow, Tom, you're really diblifying.
Full of new ideas, this one.
And I wouldn't blame you for thinking that. I would not blame you for a second. But Blutes, I've talked at nauseum on this show of how Blutes is a place that I find it hard to talk shit about because it's given me so much.
Sure.
But it's really hard for me sometimes to show love to a place that has gone downhill so quickly.
I mean, if you care enough about something, you'll speak freely and truly. I was going to say treely and freely, but got it right the first time. Didn't need to repeat myself.
Freely and truly. It's Dad with Nick Kyrgios.
You would call a spade if you cared about it enough. Now, if you don't give a fuck about the lovely establishment known as Blutes Karaoke Bar, we'll just move on. We'll move on to the golden content that is Married at First Sight.
But hey, I give a fuck.
You do.
I care. Some would say my biggest weakness is I care too much, especially about
So
Blutes.
we're starting with lies. Go on.
I care too much about Blutes.
All right.
That's on my resume. That's my weakness.
Lies, but good.
Went to Blutes. I've talked about how they've removed Drop It Like It's Hot from the resume of songs that you can sing there. Maybe it's because I went there and sung it every weekend and they removed it single-handedly off the back of my performances.
No one's going to top that.
We don't know. I don't think that was the case. I think they went, this is being sung too much.
Yeah, you're probably the 8th person every night you were there singing it.
But like I said, they would be nowhere without us. So the amount of money they've lost just through me, the amount of money I put into that place, pre and post drop it like it's hot performance, unfathomable.
Mr. Danny Blutes, whoever owns the place,
he's bleeding.
His kids are malnourished because you're not buying VLSs there every Friday night.
VLSs, Red Bull, vodka Red Bulls. Like I'm not sure what they sell anymore without me pre-gaming and post-gaming for Drop It Like It's Hot. The point is, Jacob, yes, they've gone downhill with that. They've taken another step. They've taken another fall down the hill. They've tripped over another rock, and Jack and Jill and Mr. Blutes are tumbling down the hill even further.
Right.
Because what they've done is introduced a rule where post 9 p.m., I think it's 9 p.m., it's a certain time, post 9 p.m., we'll go with it. They only play songs that are over a certain BPM.
Interesting. And for the people at home who don't know what BPM is and how it relates to a karaoke song.
Beats per minute.
Yeah, gotcha.
Have you seen that Zac Efron DJ movie?
What's it called?
It's called like...
High School Musical?
No, it's called like fucking We Are Your Friends. Pretty sure it's called We Are Your Friends.
Sounds great.
Zac Efron breaks down the art of BPM and getting the right BPM for a party to fucking... He's like, if I play it at exactly this within this much bass, this much timbre, and this much tremor, it makes women, it makes people move in a certain way and gets them horny and makes them fucking gyrate. So he's like, I'm controlling the crowd like a puppet with my BPM.
So high BPM, fast, good. Low BPM, slow, bad.
Boring. Yeah, slow, bad, and boring, and ballads.
According to Blutes. Because no good songs can go at sub 90 beats per minute.
Basically, they want the place to be a fucking nightclub post 9 p.m. People, I can only assume what happened is Blutes management said, hey, people are walking past the bar and they're looking for somewhere to dance, and they look in and there's some cunt singing Lips of an Angel by Hinder at 11 on a Friday. And they're like, maybe that could be Kylie Minogue instead, and then they'll actually come in. They don't want people to walk past when they see Lips of an Angel being sung.
Yeah.
So the problem is, Jacob, you can only play fucking... Basically, you can only sing Skrillex at Blutes after fucking 9 p.m. now.
Crazy Frog.
That's the only two options. So now it's just Skrillex into Crazy Frog, into Crazy Frog, into Skrillex, into Crazy Frog. And it's the same 3 people singing the same 2 songs over and over again.
Yep. Okay, with a little bit of Parkway Drive at the end.
Yeah, like, a little bit of Dragon Force. You know, that comes on. It's basically Guitar Hero up there.
Say no more, let's go.
So I put a song request in, Truly, Madly, Deeply, Savage Garden.
Brilliant.
At maybe...
Brisbane royalty.
Are they Brizzy boys?
Yeah.
Savage Garden.
Savage Garden Brizzy boys.
Didn't know that.
How good is that?
Wow, they were big.
They were massive. They were one of the biggest pop groups at the time.
In the world, right?
In late 90s, early 2000s.
Were they just Australia, or did they crack the international market?
They definitely would have cracked like UK markets.
Surely. Truly, madly, deeply, do me do. I will be young, I will be young, I'll be a fantasy. I will be faithful and be everything that you need. I need a truly.
Okay, that's all right. It's not Blutes. Come on, buddy. Yeah.
Wait, and then he goes, because I'm looking for a higher purpose.
It's kind of how it goes. Yep.
And then he goes, I want to stand with you on a mountain.
I want to lay with you
in the sea.
I want to feel like this forever until the sky falls down on me. Now, if that's not poetry, take a long, hard look in the mirror, do some stretches, and go fuck yourself.
If that's not poetry, I'll eat my hat.
That is... Maybe we should get them on the podcast. They can't be doing it much these days.
Get Savage Garden on the podcast.
It's just turn into Average Garden.
Spuds, if you can Average Garden for us.
They're probably not on socials, mate.
Surely we can find Savage Garden. Great. Like, we've talked about Floodlights, pub poetry. That's poetry. That is poetry.
Yes. Yeah, that's crooner. That's the millennials crooner music.
Yeah. You might ask where I'm going with all of this, Jacob.
Yes, and I'm also aware that this all very loosely ties into ripping and tearing.
This is all off the back of ripping and tearing. You might not sound like it, but this is ripping and tearing.
So you went up to sing What a Wonderful World by Louis Armstrong.
Mm-hmm. May as well be.
Obviously, it just clocked to 9:01 p.m. So it wasn't there.
Well,
so what did you do?
It's on the iPad, but and you can select it. But
it gets vetoed.
They'll just never read you out.
I was thinking like, surely that's too much work for them to go through their whole like thousands of songs and be like, all right, I got to Google what the BPM is for this. All right, yes, no. And what if it's on the cusp of like, if it's 89.5 BPM?
Someone's doing a lot of admin work there.
Yeah.
I can see some clerical errors popping up here and there.
Yeah, there's probably some songs that actually meet the quota, and then like the person hosting is like, don't like it.
You would hope there would be an algorithm out there, or they'd write their own algorithm. There we go.
Not so.
Okay. No, not so, because you can select the song and then they just won't play it. So you're fooled into this, you're lulled into this sense of security. Go, I've requested that song. I've been here for an hour. It'll be up in about 3 songs' time. And then you see the sign next to the iPad that says, BPM post 9 p.m. has to be above 900 BPM. And you're all at sea.
Where's the PM? He needs to get on this BPM after PM business.
So I'm sitting there patiently waiting for Savage Garden to come up. Waiting. And then I hear, I'm getting a bit frustrated. I said I was patient, but I was getting frustrated. I hear the guy go, and we've got Holly for Senorita by Justin Timberlake. And I'm like, that's a fucking banger. Can't wait to see Holly do this. Holly never shows up.
No show.
Holy.
No showly.
I'm
not calling her a hoe, just wanted to make it rhyme.
No show Holly.
Nosha Holly.
Yeah.
Nosha Holly.
So what happens is, you know what happens when no one's there. They just move on to the next song.
Yep.
I go up to the DJ guy and I'm like, hey, Senorita, do you still want that sung? Because I know Holly's not here and I can do that for you. And he's like, oh, just put it through the iPad, man. And I was like, and then it'll take like an hour to come up, right? And he's like, yeah, it'll take a while. And I realized that I'm losing this battle because I just want to sing Senorita.
And at this point, it's like 11:30. It's getting to the point where like Blutes patrons are starting to leave, go to better bars, to places to dance.
Yep. So I'm like, I gotta pivot here. I gotta find a new angle in this conversation with the Blutes DJ man. So I said, oh, I am Holly. And he's like,
okay.
You're Holly. And I'm like, yeah, I was in the bathroom before when you yelled out, but I heard it. Can I sing it next? And he's like, oh, of course, man. Like, sorry you missed it. I'll put it on for you.
Did he call you man?
Yeah. He didn't question that my name's Holly or not.
Interesting.
But I, in the moment, went, okay, this isn't working. Pivot, new approach. I'm the person who missed the song just then.
Some people see a problem.
Holly.
You see an opportunity.
I see an opportunity. And then, of course, Holly for Senorita calls me out. I get up there. I do my thing.
Wait, Holly is actually there? She calls you out? Or?
No. DJ calls out
Holly, a.k.a. Tom.
A.k.a. Tom, as in, okay, now we've got Holly for Senorita. Everyone in the bar hears Holly for Senorita and then sees me show up on stage.
Yeah, a bunch of incels at the front like, oh, yeah, what the fuck? It doesn't look like a Holly.
Holly do Senorita. It's going to be hot and sexy as fuck.
That's more of a golly.
Yeah.
Like, golly, I don't think that's a woman.
Golly gee. Now we've got this guy gyrating on stage. So do my thing. And then I had to fucking beg shout out Scotty from work. He requested Lips of an Angel by Hinder.
Excellent.
And I knew that was below the BPM count.
Yes.
So I had to beg the man for that to be played. I was like, bro, we've been here for 2 hours. Scotty's getting restless over there.
He's got kids.
He's got kids at home. He needs to go. He needs to sing Lips of an Angel by Hinder.
This man's got 21 kilometers to run on a Sunday and 2 toddlers to take care of. Can you just play the song that he wants?
He's got a wife at home waiting for him. He needs to get up and sing a song about cheating on your wife. Come on, let him sing Lips of an Angel.
Yeah, he doesn't need to hear Senorita and think about his senora at home.
He needs to sing Hinder, the classic Hinder. So I'm like begging the guys, like, man, didn't you not see the sign? I could get fired for this. He's like, my boss isn't going to like it. This is actually not Mayo. That's true. He's like, I could get in trouble. I'm like, man, we've been here for 2 hours. He's like, all right, I'll put it on soon. 5 more songs pass. I go up again. When is it coming on? All right, I'll put it on in 2 songs. At this time, Scotty's like, dude, I'm fine with leaving. I don't even want to sing the fucking song. I don't care. And I'm like, no. Scotty, we're waiting. I sung. You're going to sing.
The moment had well and truly passed, and you were still trying to cling to it.
He was so over it. Everyone was over it. Everyone was trying to go home. I'm like, no. The DJ was trying to go home.
Like one of the many shitty MAFS contestants, you just saw the limelight, it came on you, it was leaving, and you're like, no, I got more to say.
I got time here.
I got to do my dance, my top hat, my cane.
Scotty got to sing. Scotty got to do Hinder. And he's like, all right, 2 songs. And I'm like, promise 2 songs? And he's like, I'm not promising you. I will not do that. And then he finally played fucking Hinder. And Scotty got up, did his thing, ripped and teared, by the way, to bring it full circle.
Of course he did.
That's what ripping and tearing looks like, if you're wondering what that is.
Okay.
It's Scotty at Blutes singing Lips of an Angel by Hinder at 11 p.m.
Long story. That's what ripping and tearing is.
That's what ripping and tearing is.
Excellent.
And guess who was glad that I made him stay and rip and tear?
The guy hosting the Blutes night. Scotty.
Scotty.
Scotty
was like, thank you for making me stay. I feel amazing because I've just ripped and I've teared and I've ripped and I've teared.
That's, excellent example of what ripping and tearing looks like. I think many a man, many a woman, many a they them in between, whatever your gender may be at our age, will consider ripping and tearing to be along those lines where you meet up with a couple of compadres, get a couple of adult beverages into you, have a little dance, a little sing, and then take your shirt off and then rub yourself in barbecue sauce and slither around on the ground like a slug and just get real weird with it.
And a tearing.
But another form of ripping and tearing is being passionate about your son's podcast and providing reviews every week, much like part Australian, part Chinese has.
That's the longest segue I've ever heard, and I'm going to rip right into it because it deserves no delay whatsoever.
No, rip right in and tear it apart.
Lance Farrelly, part Australian, part Chinese, says, hey, Slimcock lends a hand to an excellent podcast on the Academy Awards and does an impressive job too. I can think of no bigger wank fest than Oscar night. It's heartwarming that the young ones see through the Oscars and through Will Smith. He's way too perfect to be believable as a performing artist. We all thought Bill Cosby was perfect too.
Look what happened there.
My idols are Bruce Springsteen and Bob Dylan are great artists, but they can barely function when being interviewed compared to Will Smith's polish. Thank God. Start the Bob Dylan timer on Dad as well.
He's fucking said my name once, and he's gonna say it probably again before the end of the review.
I can't fucking sing, but I can write a goddamn song. Thank God the 2 men involved in the Oscar slap were black.
Why is it thank God?
Didn't proofread this one. Well, let's see where he's going with it.
All right.
Let's see where he's going to hear him out.
All right, you're in hot water there, white Kiwi maths teacher.
I have not read this one yet, so really flying by the edge of my pants. Imagine if a white boomer male had slapped Chris Rock. World War III would erupt in the woke generation. Okay, I see where he's going.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, it says stock in it.
All right.
Okay, we'll get there. The poor dears would be beside themselves with getting offended. This pod makes me laugh at an already hilarious, silly world. 10 inflated celebrity egos out of 10. P.S. I will from this time on call Nick Kyrgios Passenger 57.
All right, that was pretty good.
Tom and Wesley Snipes will explain the reference because I hate that Passenger 57.
Tom and Wesley. Am I Wesley Snipes?
No. Wesley Snipes was in a film called Passenger 57.
Right, okay, got you. I thought your dad was calling me one of the blackest people alive.
You're not Wesley, bro.
Eh.
You're not Wesley Snipes.
I'll try.
Give it a crack. Is there truth in the fact that if a white male got up and slapped Chris Rock, would the repercussions have been greater?
I think that would have been different.
I think it would have been very different.
I think there'd be more of a vindication on, not even if it was a white bloke, if it was anything other than Will Smith. I think people would start to tear it apart.
Yeah. I think there is like something about the fact that it was Will Smith, African American, slapping Chris Rock, African American. There's something there that is like a bit of a
hall pass
that's the word I'm trying to avoid, but a hall pass based on like camaraderie and like brotherhood of nationality.
Because they're black?
Because they're black.
Okay.
Like, if it was Ricky Gervais up there and Will Smith got up and slapped Ricky Gervais.
Or vice versa.
I think it would have been more of a thing.
Yeah, it would have been problematic.
It would have been problematic. More so than it's already problematic, and we were talking about this prior to the show. Now that there's been a week fallout post Will Smith, Chris Rock, it's good to see. It's good to see the world react the way that it should have. It just took a while to get there, I think.
Yeah, and I suppose because we all consider Will Smith and Jada, like if you know a little bit about like recent times and how they present themselves, something's a bit off there. Whether you'd say unhinged,
they're psycho, dude.
or psycho, like there's something fishy there. And also on top of the fact that he was, pitched to win, Best Actor. There was all sorts of shit going on. So it's good to see after the dust has settled a little bit that people are like, you know what? Hitting people is actually not that cool.
Yeah.
It's not very chill, if you will.
I don't know if I'm in an echo chamber of people an online echo chamber of people who are denouncing him. Like Jim Carrey's come out and said that was totally unacceptable. And the fact that he got a standing ovation from the whole room after slapping a man and got to stay there and accept the award and cry and somehow be the victim of the moment, that was messed up. The fact that Jim Carrey is coming out and saying it, he's the biggest wig. There's plenty of mainly comedians defending Chris Rock.
Of course, yeah.
Obviously, they're on his side as he's a comedian, but they're on the side of you don't get to assault people because of words, because a lot of comedians have found themselves in a situation where they've been on stage and someone has got up and assaulted them.
I've taken offense to what you've said, and now I'm going to hurt your face.
Now I'm going to hurt your face because of sounds that came out of it. Comedians deserve to go to work and not be worried about being assaulted.
Yes.
It's their job. It's their life. Chris Rock's up there doing his job and shouldn't have to worry about big bad Will coming up and smacking him.
There's got to be a middle ground. Like, obviously, comedians, yes, like anyone else, you shouldn't go to work afraid that you're going to be slapped or assaulted or whatever the case may be. At the same time, you need to be aware that your job, among probably 99% of jobs, is you will be under scrutiny.
Yes.
For things that you say, things that you do.
Yeah.
No matter if it's a joke and it's taken out of context, doesn't matter.
Yeah. I'm not saying there shouldn't be repercussions.
I know you're not.
Yeah.
I know you're not. And I'm just saying that there needs to be a middle ground there where someone doesn't get slapped, but also like Will has every right to be upset with with what Chris said. The thing that I've just realized as we're speaking about Will Smith is that he is like the epitome or like the poster boy for egomaniacal narcissists that believe that they are the main actor in the movie that is life. And the personification of that was Will getting up out of his seat to assault another man, where it's probably the most televised slap of all time. Like him doing that, him committing that act was almost him going like, "This is the crescendo in my film. I'm finally going to get the award. That's the resolution. That's the neat bow at the end. But before that, I've got to have my last final struggle.
Yeah, dude.
The hero must have his struggle against the big bad Chris Rock, who's half my size.
Yeah, the devil. He made that slap into his third act.
Correct.
Into the climax of his film.
He didn't actually win an Oscar for King Richard.
He won it for best slap.
He won it for best slappity bap.
Yeah, I think that's what it says on his little Oscar trophy. Best slap of all time.
Yes.
Yeah. And now every time a Will Smith plays at work, it's always like, hey, this song slaps.
But yeah, I think Papk raises good points. It would be great to have him in another podcast setting where we can just hear him go, "Oh, things are just different these days. They're just, what the way you guys handle this at this point in your life is different to how I handle it."
Oh, the little dearies would be offended forever. If that happened, the little dearies would never come back.
How do I do a better impersonation of your dad than you do?
I spoke to Dad about it and he's like, Jake's impersonation sounds like shit, but yours also does. So we're both bad.
Oh, I think mine's a little bit better.
Well, he's actually a New Zealand person who comes from New Zealand.
Well, if you ask his actual online alias, he's actually part Australian, part Chinese.
It's true. It's not PAPNZ.
Don't comment on me accents if you're not from that country, Papk.
I've seen educators. I know how to do a good Kiwi accent.
Educators.
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 All right, kids, are we doing Greece? We're doing Greece.
We're doing Grus.
We're doing Gross.
We're doing Grus.
So it's just good to see. Like I said, don't know if I'm in an echo chamber, but it seems like the world has more swung to 80% Will Smith was in the wrong, 20%. Sorry, 80%. Yeah, 80% Will was in the wrong. Chris was the victim. Yeah. I think there's still a few people out there who are like, he was defending his wife. He was defending his wife.
Okay.
It's like you can, like you were saying, he can be upset about it. You can yell from the stands and yell from his seat and say, keep my wife's name out of your mouth. You can go on Twitter afterwards and say, my wife has alopecia. That was a distasteful joke. And maybe Chris will have consequences. You don't get to hit him.
Yeah, I mean, like to settle the whole debacle, like would Will have gotten up and slapped Optimus Prime for saying something like that? Would he have slapped, Batman if he did it? Would he have slapped? I've already forgotten the person I was thinking of. Would he have slapped Sauron, destroyer of Middle Earth, with the one ring of power to rule them all? No way. Not a chance.
Would he have slapped a jacked surfer man, one that goes by the name of the Animal Chin, one that resides from San Clemente, California, if he was up there telling jokes?
Coming to you live out of San Clemente, California. The answer is no. But I would fucking love to see that fight.
I reckon you take him, Tack. I reckon you take him.
I do too. But listen, before that, we've got to get you in the gym. We've got to get you, I'm sure you're already in shape, but we've got to get you in fighting shape. And right now, the only muscles you're working are your keyboard warrior muscles, which, you know what, I'm not opposed to. But we got to get you in shape for this brawl with the world's biggest ego, or one of the world's biggest egos. It's hard to say the biggest with Putin and ScoMo and Tom out there, but
it's a large ego.
It's a large ego. So right now, we'll stick to the reviews, but we'll get you in fighting shape soon.
We'll tee it up.
So Christian, the Animal Chin, you all know and love him. He's an international correspondent. He writes in and says, boys, so glad I'm not the only one who thinks that the Oscars is a demonstration of Hollywood autofellatio and virtue signaling. Great word.
Love that.
There's no typo line there. Autofellatio.
Autofellatio.
Never heard that before. Going to use it every day of my life for the rest of my days.
Can I get a quick definition on autofellatio? Does that mean making love to yourself?
Well, fellatio is like oral sex. I think.
Or is it masturbation?
Well,
or is fellatio
you're sucking? You're sucking your own dick.
Yeah,
that's what I imagine. Fellatio. Autofellatio.
Or just sucking someone's dick. Does it have to be your own?
No.
Or does fellatio mean your own dick?
You're sucking your own dick.
Fellatio is sucking your own dick.
No. Autofellatio is sucking your own dick. Fellatio is providing that service to someone else.
Yes.
So if I give you fellatio, I'm going down on you.
Yeah.
If I do autofellatio,
you're doing it to yourself.
Correct, but only after I give you fellatio.
Yeah, you have to give me head and then give yourself head for it to be autofellatio.
Exactly. I double the head and then I double the bread.
So the Oscars is a bunch of dudes sucking themselves and each other off.
Yep. I mean, yeah, I use the G-rated version saying they just love sniffing their own farts.
Yep.
But sucking your own dick is a much more graphic, some would say more accurate representation of what the Oscars really is.
I would say the Academy Awards removed a couple of ribs in their time.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, did the big Marilyn Manson treatment?
Marilyn, yeah. I can see that.
Yep. True story. Christian writes on, it's getting harder and harder to watch every year. Impressed that you watch it every year, bro. That's something I could not do. Maybe because each year those people get further and further separated from reality. Also, I do not get the appeal of Will Smith. He just Will Smiths around in everything he does, as if the character on the script is Will Smith as Will Smith.
Yep. That's what we saw at the Oscars.
Ain't that the truth?
Yep.
He's like his breakout show, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Yep.
He's just playing himself.
Yeah,
his name is Will in the show.
Yeah, it's literally Will. Yeah. They were like, we're not going to confuse the man and make him remember another name that isn't his.
In West Philadelphia, born and raised, going to slap a comedian and get all of the praise.
Love that, dude.
Yep. I'm full of them. Full of it. Anyway, always love a good guest, and Slimcock was no exception. Oh, look at that. A little bit of love for Slimcock.
Love that.
Loved hearing about your house of debauchery, and it reminded me of my own years at uni. Takes us all back to being absolute delinquents. I give this episode 10 out of 10 social justice buzzwords and would highly recommend. P.S. The World Surf League is holding the Oz leg of the championship tour in April and would be a good free-to-air would be good free to air to review.
Ooh.
The commentators say a lot of dumb stuff, and the surfing is always great to watch. Tack. Kind regards, Christian Reese, JD, Esquire.
TAC.
TAC. Don't know what JD is.
JD. Don't know.
It's not justice of destroying that review.
I don't think it's that. Okay, well said.
Very well said.
He echoes the sentiments of Papk a little bit, doesn't he? You can tell they're both dads.
Yeah.
You can tell they're both fathers because of how good their takes are.
Yeah, it's well-rounded, seasoned. They've seen some things. They've done some things.
They've
maybe
raised some children.
things that they may like, things they may regret. But you know what? At the end of the day, you're getting the full 2 cents worth.
Are we going to watch, what is it, the surf pipeline of Australian East Coast surfing? Is that what TAC just told us
Like
to
the
watch?
the World Surf League is holding the Oz leg of the championship in April.
Okay.
I mean, if it's in fucking Burleigh, we could even
I'll go to that.
We could go to that.
Fuck. We should
go there and
Tack love to go there.
We should go do that and do some Vox Pops.
Yeah, fuck yeah. Yeah. And we'll say can everyone here shout out to TAC of San Clemente, California? Because this is brought to you by TAC.
Yes.
We wouldn't have this idea without you.
Exactly right.
Without you, Tack.
And
you mean so much to us.
And to think that this was just a bloke who found our podcast through his own means of just trying to find content on Alaskan bush people, and now he's become an integral part of, some would say, the one of the most important pieces of content and entertainment out there. Do we entertain? Not all the time. Are we right? Barely ever. But if you do want to get involved with On The Air Tonight, we strongly recommend you get involved with the community. Jump on our On The Air Tonight Instagram page, give us a follow, get amongst it there. Jump onto our YouTube channel. You can actually see this, not only hear it, but see it. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, leave us a comment, and you'll get read out, much like Tack or Papk.
Be part of the show, give us content to create. Can I say something?
If it's how are you going? Because you didn't ask that before, then that'd be great. But if it's something else, that's fine as well.
All right, I'll start there. How are you, mate?
What was your real question?
It wasn't a question. I was just going to make a statement.
Ask your question.
It's a statement.
You have my permission.
Can I say my statement?
You just asked
That's
another
the question that I asked.
All right.
Yep.
Okay.
So I can say the statement?
Sure.
Good to go for the statement.
Sure. Just one. No, go on.
Louis C.K. won a Grammy.
Okay.
Said yesterday.
So on to MAFS.
Okay.
No, that's I mean, yeah, the 64th annual Grammys was held last night, or not when you're listening to it, on Monday of the week of the 3rd of April.
The Grammys happened. Louis C.K. won a Grammy for Best Comedy Album above, I think it was like, your Kevin Harts of the world, maybe a Hannibal Buress in there.
Stavros Halkias.
Maybe a Stavros is in there.
Yep.
Crowd work, 09.
Just riffing.
I didn't see Louis C.K. winning a Grammy in the next ever, let alone 5 years post-masturbatory scandal.
This has been a wild journey. If you told me that he would be out of work because he masturbated in front of a couple of colleagues, went into the darkness, came back with a special that no one batted an eyelid at, and just a few short years later, he's winning a Grammy?
Winning a Grammy. It was 4.5 years ago, he was dropped by Netflix and HBO and everyone and outed by the New York Times. And now he's on the biggest stage not the biggest comedy stage, probably the smallest comedy stage. Grammy not known for its comedy normally.
No, I mean, I didn't even know that they gave awards out for comedy albums. It must be an audio platform awards ceremony.
Well, that's the thing. It's not. It's called Best Comedy Album, but the thing that he won for was his special called Sincerely, which is not even his latest special. So it's very strange, and it's a visual special. There's video. It's not an audio. It's not a comedy album.
But can you get it on CD?
Maybe that's the qualification. You can get anything on CD. Just pump his special into MP4 to MP3 converter, and then you've got yourself a Best Comedy Album.
It's Louis CD.
It's Louis CD. I have maybe the conspiracy theory here. Maybe what the Grammys are trying to do. Maybe this is a new category, and they've never done Best Comedy Special, Best Comedy Album ever, and this is the new thing. Would we be talking about Louis C.K.? Would we be talking about the Grammys Best Comedy Album award if it wasn't Louis C.K.? Would it be a story?
I mean, you're the one who brought this up. You instigated it.
Absolutely.
So you tell me, would you have brought this up if if Will Smith, no, he's obviously not a comedian, but yeah, if Chris Rock or Joe Rogan, or,
No.
yeah,
Kevin Hart, no. So
it's interesting because he's had problematic, or he's been in the limelight for the wrong reasons in the past, say 6 years.
we all know Louis C.K.'s got a big place in the heart and the history of OTAT. One of our most viral clips, one of our edgiest clips involves
You being wrong.
me being wrong about Louis C.K. being equivalent to Heath Ledger dying. So I just thought it was worth bringing up because is he back now?
You tell me.
Is he is he uncancelled? I've seen obviously there was a big Twitter backlash,
Yeah.
a massive Twitter well, when you say backlash, it's a Twitter backlash.
Well, the question is, did he win it off his own merit? And I'm sure that there's at least 10% of that to say that he did win it on his own merit. Is there a chunk of it to say that he won it because they wanted the clicks?
Maybe it's a publicity stunt. All publicity is good publicity. Maybe it's that.
This is my thinking, and especially a short week after the slap heard around the world, maybe they were just like, hey, Oscars is for watching, okay?
Yeah.
If you want listening, come over to the Grams.
They're like, we need a good story. The Oscars got the biggest one of all time. We'll make a ripple in comparison and give a public masturbator a Grammy. Maybe that's it.
Could work.
But I mean, some of the backlash that I saw was like, this is proof that cancel culture is not real and you cannot be cancelled in 2022.
It's a case-by-case basis.
It is a case-by-case basis.
Like,
you can be deplatformed.
Yeah, and you can also be hated by the general population.
Yeah, but then you can come back. That's the thing. If you have enough capital behind you, you don't need a Netflix or a HBO or a Stan to host your comedy, and you have enough of a following, enough of a cult following, you can keep making shit for as long as you want.
Yeah.
You can just make your own website, make your own URL. You can get deplatformed from YouTube and then go and put your videos on fucking, OTAT socials. You're still technically cancelled, but I mean, you're still doing shit. No one can come to your house.
No one's stopping you.
Yeah, no one's putting a gun to your head and saying, you can't make this content. Unless, I mean, the ultimate cancellation is going to prison. That's like you've been cancelled.
Yeah, that's the ultimate card. That's the draw four. Of cancel culture. It's like, yeah, look, not only are you disliked by most people, people don't really want to bat an eyelid. You're not going to see the light of day ever again either.
You're also illegal. And then the people who go to prison are like, it's just these SJWs.
Yeah.
I've been cancelled. OJ Simpson's in prison like, I've been cancelled.
Oh, God, these bloody, I was going to say sunflowers, these snowflakes.
These snowflakes. The judge is a snowflake. The girl I murdered's they're all just fucking snowflakes. PC gone too far. Fucking Charles Manson in prison. It's just PC gone too far.
Dead Charles Manson.
Yeah, dead Charles Manson.
This is bullshit. I did the swastika in uni. It was a joke. It was a silly goof.
It was a bit, don't you get it?
I fed those kids acid and got them to murder people just as a funny ha-ha.
So you're going to prison for life.
What is
you got in the electric chair. Oh, I've been cancelled.
Why does Charles Manson sound like Koshi? Oh, listen, I just wanted to start something special. I didn't mean for so many people to die.
This was it started off as a joke. Started off as a joke on Sunrise. That's a pretty good Koshi. From where I'm sitting, that's a good Koshi.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. We both probably do the same level of Koshi as we do a Kiwi accent.
Yeah. Nothing sounds the same when you hear it back, but from where I'm sitting, that was pitch perfect.
But I think to this whole Louis C.K. situation, and it even kind of applies to the Will Smith situation. The one thing people get riled up or more passionate, the only thing that they get more riled up and passionate about than vindicating someone and pointing the finger is a redemption arc.
Oh yeah,
that's all. And this is Louis just on the cusp of his redemption arc. Coming back and doing a special, first step. Winning an award, that's the first giant leap back into mankind's warm embrace of acceptance.
It's society going, okay, you've paid your dues, and we're fucking with you again.
You've paid your dues, or you've
paid your dues with a D.
Yeah. All right.
You paid off enough.
You've paid off enough
high
people in the industry.
in Hollywood. You paid your dues.
All right, so we're going to give you a Grammy this week.
Pay your dues.
All right.
It's just a bunch of Weinsteins in a room.
And make sure you get it all over social media. We call that Instagrammies, okay? That's it's good for us.
Have I paid my dues yet? I'm just trying to tell jokes. Have I paid my dues? With a D.
You've paid him right
Let me
off. You've
clarify
paid him right off, mate.
I've overpaid my dues.
Have
at
I
this point.
bribed my dues? Sorry, paid my dues.
I've been paying dues my whole life.
But
I think the Jews owe me.
speaking of rehabilitation of an image or redemption arcs or trying to tie things off with a neat little bow, that's really what the end of Married at First Sight is all about, which is what we watched tonight. You can stream all of MAFS on 9 now, right now. And yeah, we tucked right into Australia, the Southern Hemisphere's most popular show.
Yeah. Big season of MAFS.
Huge.
I have been watching this season.
I haven't.
That's how it went last year as well, I think.
Yeah, I'm going to be more invested in like you know your Tolstoys and your Einsteins and your Freuds. Tom's going to stick to reality TV.
You're a Tolstoy operator. I'm more of a John Aiken type. The expert from MAFS.
Well done.
Well done. John Aiken might have a bit of a speech impediment. Jacob likes to make fun of him because he's Tolstoy-esque, I guess.
Sure.
Koskaevsky over here.
Yeah. We can get onto the show, but just want to start off by saying these fucking relationship experts, these people, they somehow have a bigger ego than the actual subjects of the show.
Yeah. The relationship experts hold people to account whilst taking no risk themselves. Really, they're the cowards of the whole situation. They risk nothing by going on here and just pointing the finger and being shiny and perfect. We got no insight into their relationships or their lives. It's all behind closed doors. And they tell these people to come on and they match them. They match them together.
It's like watching a movie or a TV show with someone who's super annoying and they keep going, oh, that person just did this. Oh, what happened there? No, I reckon they do this. Oh, this is what I reckon the end is. This is how this person dies. Person straight up dies. No, I think that person actually was related to this person. It's like, can you shut up and let me watch the idiots?
We're trying to watch people fight.
Yeah.
Stop telling me they're fighting when I'm just watching exactly what you're saying. It's basically running commentary from the experts are just, the experts are exposition. You know what? They're not experts, they're exposition perts.
Hey, I like that. Yep.
Did I find something? Did I stumble onto something good?
Yeah, expositionerts.
The expositionerts is what they are. John Aiken, you're an expositionert. You're an expositionert. You're an expositionert.
Say it more. I think it makes more sense the
You're
more
an
you say.
expositionert. You're not an expert.
Not gibberish at all.
They sit there and they go, so they'll watch. We've all seen it. They watch two people fighting, and they go,
These two don't get along.
there's some tension here. I'm sensing some tension.
So they're just stabbing each other in the throat, like, yeah, I think there's something going on here.
But then they have the gall to do that, sit there behind the scenes when they watch the dinner party unfolding. They watch the drama ensue, which they have created. And they go, yeah, okay, tension here, tension there. And then at the final finale, the reunion finale, they sit them all down on the couch and they tell them off like children. They're like, now your behavior is, if you can't see how your behavior is destructive and toxic, then I don't have any more words.
There's no second half to that sentence. Like, if you don't understand what you've done wrong, line. Commercial break. Yeah, right.
It's literally like a fucking dad talking down to a kid. It's crazy. It's like it is unacceptable, and they're like full grown adults just sitting there copying it. Like they never give it back to the experts.
No, you're right.
You're smart. You're smart. I'm dumb. You're smart. I'm dumb.
Yeah, because they're paralyzed by their stress of like all the fuck ups they made in the past 12 weeks, all coming to air now, and they're like, oh God.
Yeah.
Okay. I've got to do my best to try and redeem my image as much as possible in this last 15 seconds of fame that I have.
Yeah, this is my chance to tell my truth. What we watched was the last 2 episodes of MAFS, and I kind of explained the whole season to Jake and gave him a lot of context. There was the final dinner party, and then there was the final reunion, I suppose, couch ceremony.
Yep.
Where at the dinner party, obviously, one last chance for everyone to get drunk and fight each other. Everyone comes back who has been who has left the experiment. Everyone comes back and they fucking go at each other one last time and retread all of the drama that has already been tread into the ground throughout the season.
Yeah, if there's a modicum of drama, they're going to amplify it, repeat it, extrapolate on it, and speak in hyperbole to try and squeeze as much juice out of that tiny berry of drama that they can. Before we get on to the specifics of the play-by-play of what we watched, imagine that you're in an elevator, or you're in a small building, say 3 or 4 levels, has an elevator. You get into the elevator, stranger walks in with you. They press the top floor, so they've got 4 levels. You have this sudden urge come over you where you need to tell this person why they should watch MAFS and what makes this season so unique and what makes this and why it is the number 1 rated show year after year on Aussie television. Give us your elevator pitch, Tom.
All of that could be surmised to give us your elevator pitch for MAFS. That was a long-winded way of asking.
I'm up to level 1 now, so you got 3 levels to go,
shit,
pal.
I'm sorry. MAFS is the most toxic social experiment parading. Well, it's a toxic environment parading as a social experiment.
Going up to level 2.
That collects the most toxic, immature, deranged people in Australia who believe they're going to find love, pits them against each other, and it's basically watching Dum Dum number 1 fight Dum Dum number 2, and it's very entertaining.
Okay.
It's very entertaining. You're going to feel sick after watching it?
This is my floor. I need to go.
Hold on, no, don't go. So I know
Just open the door. Stay right there.
I'm holding it. You've heard of Tolstoy?
Standing between the door and the person in the elevator.
You've heard of The Great Gatsby? This is MAFS.
All right, Tolkien.
Okay.
This is better.
This is better. This is John Aiken. MAFS, okay? Watch it. It's on 9 now, right now, okay?
All right, if you just let me out of the elevator, can I? If I watch MAFS, will you let me out of the elevator?
Sir, I never asked you to elevator pitch me MAFS. I got in here and you started talking to me about MAFS. Can I go?
I'm very frightened for my safety. Can I go?
Watch MAFS. I've got a podcast on it. Follow on the air tonight as they're leaving. Follow on the air tonight on the _air tonight on Instagram. We've got TikTok as well.
Hello, police. Just been accosted by someone with a very average podcast.
A MAFS loving man who loves his podcast.
A MAF man.
Oh, it's Tom again. Fuck.
Oh, goodness.
Tom's done it again.
We got to keep him away from these small buildings with elevators.
Stop going to the Triple M
Yeah,
elevators.
to the hatch building at the top of the barracks.
Does he ever go to work? Just rides the elevator up and down all day, talking to engineers about...
That's why there's usually 2 elevators out of order.
Yeah.
You're using both of them to swap in between and accost people.
Yeah, you know when I'm not at my desk at work and I'm out on the road, me in the elevator. All day. Bitchin' MAFS.
Yep, okay.
So watch it.
Brilliant.
Watch it.
I will.
Okay.
I mean, you got me to watch 2 episodes already tonight, so
Yeah.
I'm already...
What did you think of it after watching 2 episodes of it?
It's funny. I found myself getting invested.
Yeah.
Like it's so easy how you can see these reality TV shows, and like one of my housemates is a massive, like, loves reality TV, like loves the drama. She watches like, Beverly Hills Housewives, Keeping Up with the Kardashians when it was on. And I know that it's off because of her. MAFS, or actually stay away. Most free-to-air drama she watches is like Survivor. Byron Bayes is apparently a new one on a paid streaming service. Anyway, I always thought, I was like, how do you get addicted to these shows? Like, it just seems like the most pointless, meaningless stuff, which at the end of the day, most of the stuff I watch is for that same reason. It helps me just switch off. And just watching this, it's like, this is kind of juicy. I can see why people get addicted to these sorts of shows, because you're like, oh, I want to see, like, this is how you start living vicariously through these monkeys.
I didn't start the year going, hey, I'm going to watch a season of MAFS.
No.
It starts in January. You basically roll from Australian Open into your first episode of MAFS.
Yikes.
And I didn't set out to go, I'm going to spend 3 months watching it. Like, fuck no. I was like, I felt like shit every time I watched an episode last year. I am not going to do it. And then it's on. And then you see you see a fight, and you're like, okay, I wonder how that wrapped up. And all of a sudden, you're fucking 39 episodes down of the shit.
You've given 50 hours of your life to this one season of the show.
Yeah, all of a sudden, and that's how they get you. And I'm not proud of it. You try to fit in.
You sound like an addict. Look, I'm not proud of my use. I didn't mean to get on this path, but we're here now, and I got to rehabilitate until next year when the next season starts, and we do this whole dance again
Until Byron Bays comes out, and I go, okay, there's my next. I got off, ciggies, but now I'm on vapes. It's just replacing the addiction.
How about Byron Glaze, as in my eyes glaze over when I watch this show?
Yeah. How about that? Yeah.
But it didn't. My eyes were crystal clear. I was lucid. I was coherent. I was attentive. I was fixated on this show.
Yep. You don't switch off.
No.
You go, what's happening next?
Ooh.
And if we're to compare it, let's do apples and oranges here. You saw, from what you saw last year we had Bryce. We had Fried Rice Bryce and 30 Seconds to Mars. Drama-wise, from the small snippets you saw from both seasons, who are you going with? Which trumped?
I think the things you watch this show for is like the peaks. You're not watching it for like the overall arc. I think you're watching it for like those peaks of drama where like everyone's in the room together and when you said this, but you're saying something different now, or like yeah, I've always loved you, babe, but now I love this girl a bit more because we're married. It's hard to say if there's any real differences. I would say that last year's peak in drama with the Bryce situation was definitely higher. Like I think this year with some of the snarkiness and stuff coming out, yes, there was juicy drama, but it wasn't gushing.
I also think like Bryce and that dude was just the funniest beef
Perfect
I've
storm.
ever seen. Oh my god,
Perfect
just like
storm.
two fucking absolute Magoos going at it, and Bryce was like King Magoo.
Yeah, just blockheaded dude with a really bad anger management problem.
Just such a funny, again, we've said it before, but the most confrontational man who can't handle confrontation.
And that guy's still got a job in radio.
He's got a job in radio, and he's got twins to the woman that he was on the show with, Melissa. They worked it out. I was like, fuck me.
SPUDS, this isn't a drill. There is multiple Bryces out there. I repeat, there is plural Bryce.
Yeah, there's thrice now, actually.
What would you call the plural
Two
of
kids,
Bryces? Of Bryce?
Well, 3 is thrice.
Hey, that's pretty good. Yeah.
2 Bryce is twice.
Okay.
You got Bryce, then you got twice, then you got thrice.
Yep. No, I was thinking how like plural of cactus is cacti.
Gotcha. Bry.
Yeah.
Brie.
Bryasai. Thrice was very good. I did not see that coming. I should have, but I didn't.
I had to say it twice for you to get it.
Was that nice?
Yeah. It was, yeah.
Put that one on ice.
The Bryce so nice, you named it thrice.
You got me itching for more, like I'm covered in lice.
Okay. We are rappers. We are rappers at this point.
We'll say that to suffice.
We are poets. And with that will suffice. So...
Rice. Just trying to throw one more in there. Fried rice.
Speaking of, I think my favorite character from this season, my Bryce from this season, is definitely Al. If you've seen this season of MAFS, Al is the dumb puppy dog who just is so positive and follows everyone around. Like earlier in the season, when anyone finished up on the couch and they would like did their therapy for the week, Bryce would just be sitting there like giving them a fist pump and with like the biggest smile. Even after they've like almost broken up, he's just like,
come on, guys.
He's like, fuck yeah, fist pumping girls and shit. It's like, just chill out, Al. Al's a guy who does shoeies and like the worm at a party.
Yeah, real immature lad. Like the energy of a party. Yeah. His name's not actually Al. That's just his initials. It's absolute legend.
Hell yeah, dude. Absolute legend. Hey guys, Al here.
You know what that stands for? Oh, everyone left. Okay.
Everyone left.
Everyone.
Everyone's gone.
All left.
All left. That's what Al stands for. Al.
Everybody gone.
Al from MAFS is not his real name. It's his initials, and it's Everyone left. Just to put a bow on that. As long as everyone's aware, it means everyone's left.
Yes, his parents are illiterate, just like Al.
No surprises seeing Al and Sam didn't make it to the end.
No.
Sam wasn't impressed with his initials B.
Clearly the producers, when this guy came on for the interview, they're like, this guy's not going to find love, but let's get him on.
Yeah. That's the thing. They pair people together and they justify it with something like, he's extroverted and she's introverted and they will complement each other well. Al's situation was like, let's put a 25-year-old carpenter who lives with his parents, who doesn't know how to put a load of washing on, doesn't know how to vacuum a floor, with Sam, who's a 28-year-old independent woman with her own business, who is ambitious with her career. Put them together and see what happens. So then it's just a mum trying to fall in love with her kid and train him how to put a load of washing on for a whole season, how to be a man.
Yeah, it's not married at first sight. It's adoption agency.
Yeah, and it's like, oh, that didn't work out. Well, at least you learned something. I'm John Aiken. Catch me next week.
Well said.
Well said.
Very well said.
Well done, guys. I was saying earlier, this is just an Al gush sesh, an everybody left gush sesh. I think Al provided the most pure moment of comedy I've ever seen in a season of MAFS. In a scenario earlier this year.
If you're a hardcore fan, you know.
You know. If you don't, then this will be fun for you to hear it for the first time.
Go on, spin a tale.
Al and Sam went to see Sam's parents. They do an experiment where they do a task where they go and see the parents, and the parents ask them questions. Sam's parents asked Al, what do you do in your spare time? What do you do when you're not at work? And Al kind of freaks out for a second.
What's your leisure?
Like he was worrying because everyone was still there, and he's like, no one's left yet. This is weird. So he had a bit of a freak out, and he goes, he was just honest. He goes, I play video games and I just sit around at home. Saying that to your fiance or saying that to your wife's parents, never a good move. I play video games. So he got smoked for it.
I'll stop you there. You know the reason he said that? He wasn't actually being honest. If you ask any 25-year-old tradie what they get up to on weekends, they'll give you their 2 cents worth. But with a nationally televised camera, video or camera in front of their face, televising this, then he's got to come up with the most tame things on the spot, which is, I don't do nothing.
Yeah.
Video games, sorry.
Yeah. He was telling a porky that he thought would be better than the truth.
Yeah.
Turns out it probably would have been better if he just said, I get on caps and go to raves every weekend.
So, Al, what do you like to do with your spare time? Porn. Yeah. Love any type of porn. Child, tentacle, interspecies.
Did you say porn? No, I said video
corn.
games.
I said corn.
I said corn. It's a sick game. VR, actually. It's actually VR, which is cool.
It's a great band. Corn.
Corn.
Corn with a K.
Yeah. Have you heard of Harvest Moon? It's just kind of like a farming game where you grow corn. That's all I do.
Look, is this guy
Al?
a little bit thick on the head?
And he's like, and he looks up and he goes, oh, Al, everybody left again.
That's not your name. Stop it. But yeah, so he said, oh, my spare time is video games and doing nothing, which
went down like a lead balloon.
Correct.
Went down like a lead balloon. He got smoked for it. And then he's doing a piece to camera later when the dust has settled. And the producer asks him, Al, what will you say if her parents ask you what you do on weekends again? And he goes, if they ask me again, I'll say, with my spare time, I think about my future and invest in blue chip companies and stocks and put babies in your daughter. I was like, Al, you motherfucker. You've done it again.
You salty snake and a dog.
What do you do on a Friday night when you're not working? Just put babies in your daughter. Get super serious about her because I love her so much.
Get rich doing it.
Yeah.
Because I'm building residuals and hedging my portfolio.
He does it all with a deadpan expression on his face, and he doesn't know that he's Scooby-Doo the dog.
Truly the most expressive man I've ever seen on television.
Yeah. Oh, he's Scooby-Doo.
Fantastic range of emotion on his face. On that very gorgeous 25-year-old face. He was just...
Well, he's the reaction shot guy. He's the cutaway to Al just wide-eyed, just go because he's so dopey and fun. Like he's the funniest man I've ever met.
Absolute
I've ever seen on TV.
larrikin.
But he is not a lot between the ears, if you know what I mean. So great, comedy gold. I think Al will come away with like, I think Al's our next Rove McManus.
Yeah.
He'll come away with a TV show.
Wow.
At least a radio deal.
That's big words.
At least a radio deal. Al, you're my Rove. Just know that.
Al was great. Mitch was great too.
Mitch was great. Mitch had a staunch moment earlier this season, which was you saw a clip of tonight.
You Wigan brah.
You Wigan bruh. Mitch staunched a dude who he didn't like because of reasons you will know if you watch the show. Basically, a guy was there and he didn't like him. And Mitch just starts going, I don't like you, bruh. I don't rate you. I don't rate you. And the guy's like, oh, how are you, Mitch? Like, what's going on? He's like, I'm not talking to you. I don't rate you. And he's from the Goldie.
Legend.
Mitch from the Goldie. Come on the show, Mitch. And we'll get you on as I proceed to roast you.
Come on. Hoist us up from our sub 200 followers.
Yeah. And it's just the way he was talking when he was staunching this guy. He just starts going, are you Wigan, bruh? You Wigan? You're nowhere. You're nowhere, bruh.
Leave, mate.
Yeah, leave, mate. Piss off. You're not going to do it. You're not going to hit me. You're not going to do shit. You're fucking nowhere, mate. So good. I've never seen a man staunch a guy like this man staunched a guy.
It honestly, like, it stank of, like, all boy high school to me.
Yeah.
It was very much one of those encounters where this person is infuriating you. You can't decide whether you want to slap them or try and diffuse the situation. But either way, you want to be out of the fire. You want to be out of his crosshairs, and you don't want the attention to be on you while he's roasting you.
Yeah.
So you do everything you can, and that person is indestructible.
Well, he had the room as well, right? Everyone's behind him, and everyone's against this other guy.
Correct.
So no one's going to stick up for him and be like, hey, Mitch, chill, because that's why he's so gassed up and confident. He starts like hanging his A's like fucking brah. It's like, you don't talk like that, but you're gassed up by 10 dudes in a room being behind you.
Yeah.
He had all the confidence in the world.
He had 8 Crown lagers and was ready to fucking, just beat his big silverback chest.
Because the guy that he's staunching is like, if you said that shit in the real world, you get yourself knocked out.
Oh, guy had probably 10, 15 kilos on him.
Yeah, he would have staunched him. His thing was like, he's a PT. He's like a gym guy.
The other guy?
Yeah, the other guy is a gym guy.
That's right. Mitch is a financial planner.
Mitch is a financial planner.
Chad.
Such a Chad. Head of a model, like gorgeous man. But this guy would have, on the outside world, he's right. He would have got himself knocked out. But he knows there's cameras there, and he's got 10 people behind him, so he can say whatever he wants. You can hang your A's. You can start saying, brah.
And you know what? You might have been able to beat up Mitch, but he's the one who didn't come off it. He came off as a dickhead on the show, but he came out as the dickhead with a crown.
Yeah, he had a crown of dicks.
You came off as the beta dunce who settled for Carolina, who just seems like one of the most obnoxious people.
Yeah.
And that's obviously like the whole point of the show is like, it's these attention grabbing, most of the time good looking people who are doing it to get some sort of exposure for themselves and a bit of money. I think they get some sort of money out of it. And yeah, there's just always going to be a handful of people that are just like, you must be like the worst person to deal with in real life.
Oh, nightmare. And in that moment where Mitch is staunching, do you remember the other guy's name? Daniel. Mitch is staunching Daniel.
Yep.
Like we were saying, Daniel has 15 kilos on Mitch, but in that moment, Mitch looks 3 times his size.
Yeah.
Because he's just like, Daniel's just kind of...
He's tucked into the corner of the table.
Yeah, he's doing his best Bryce impression, just like stuttering his words. You get yourself knocked out, you say them on the outside, Will.
They're using real high angles of him, so it looks down on him, whereas shots of Mitch are just like big glowing halo behind him.
Yeah. Low angle hero shots. Looks hot as all hell. Brown as a berry. Tan, Gold Coast tan. He's looking good.
I think it's so your favorite characters on the show were Mitch and I was going to say Bryce. Al.
Yeah.
I didn't have a specific favorite character on the show. I thought the hero, and I think I might have said this something similar last time, but whoever's in the editing room, give them their flowers. Because they build this drama that's really not even there. They do these weird cuts where it like makes these really long dramatic pauses between what people say. No one makes those sorts of dramatic pauses in real life, so well done for making it seem like they did. And then they just their array of music, like it's bloody John Hopkins and
John Williams. John
Hopkins is a musician. He's not a scorist. and Hans Zimmer and John Williams had a baby.
It was Marvel.
Yeah,
I felt like it was.
There was big Marvel Cinematic Universe, like horns and trumpets. Whenever is it Aiken?
John Aitken.
John
That's
Aitken.
the thing. We talk about like how much they build the experts up to be fucking heroes and God's gift to earth because we don't see anything of their actual lives to dissect where we see everyone else's. When John's giving a speech, they play fucking like the prayer underneath it.
The hero's redemption. Like
Yeah.
if you Google hero's redemption song, MCU.
I felt like I was at Warney's Memorial again.
100%.
I thought Anthony Clea was going to come out and start singing behind John Aitken. Just fucking, as he's serving these kids, just going, you fucking have learned so much, but you're such a piece of shit. And
well done.
Well done. And just, the fucking strings, the orchestra that emanates behind him. It's like, we get it. He's perfect. He's perfect and we get it.
Yeah. He's the altruistic father figure for all of these delinquents.
Yeah, and he's like a newsreader. He's like Andrew Lofthouse. Like you can't fault him. He sits there in his suit. He's shiny. He's got his gold watch.
Don't shoot the messenger. I know more than you, and I'm better than you, and I earn more money, and I can make you do whatever I want.
You know what
so don't fight me.
See this? Not a hair out of place.
No.
Not a hair out of place on this head.
Except for the ones falling out of my head.
Yeah, well, that's the plugs hold it all together. But see this watch right here? Yes, it's too big for my hand.
Yes, I've got dainty child wrists.
Yes, I've got dainty child wrists and little spindly legs. Yes, they hang over each other. But I'm John Aitken.
I love the term spindly legs.
And I sit here with my spindly legs crossed on the edge of this couch. You never see me outside of
my
it.
tweed jacket with 2 plastic surgery cougars beside me.
And I sit there with my fingers interlocked and I look over at you condescendingly. Note that my couch is higher than yours. Note that I'm on a stage at all time and I'm shot from a low angle.
Notice that I've actually just got lights on me. You've got heat lamps.
Note the warm lighting on me and the hospital lighting on you. It's because I'm John Aitken.
Correct.
Note that you never see me standing up because I'm probably 5 foot tall. Note that I'm always slouched back in this chair looking like an absolute chill, sick cunt.
I'm John Aitken.
I'm John Aitken. I'm John fucking Aitken. What have I done? Doesn't matter. What do I know? Doesn't matter. What are my qualifications? None.
All that matters is what I'm doing right now, and that's running your life.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
Sorry. Swap the first N in running with an I.
Ironing.
Ruining.
Oh, okay. Ruining your life, but I'm going to convince you that I'm making it good, that I'm improving it.
Yeah.
John, what's your history? How many, are you married? I've actually had 4 divorces to 8 different women, and I've got like 10 children all over the world.
I'm in crippling debt through alimony payments.
Yeah. Why do you think I've been doing this show for so long? But what I am is a great actor. I'm a great actor and I can make it seem like this is for your good. Really, I'm a great salesman. He's a spindly-legged, slimy salesman. Not slimy because the lighting's too good to show the slime, but he's a spindly-legged, hair-plugged, wristwatch, 2 big frizz, limp wrists salesman.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Love letter to John Aitken.
Dearest, weak wrist John, I hope you're sitting spindly right now to receive this letter.
Yeah. If I, put him in a pair of Birkenstocks and he wouldn't be out of place. You know, put him there and he's like
you wear Birkenstocks.
Yeah, I know I wear Birkenstocks.
Way to shoot yourself.
Going quite across.
Way to shoot yourself in your tiny feet, mate.
In the Birkenstocks toe. They're always exposed because of the Birks. But you know the energy that Birkenstocks can bring.
I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Maybe I've got a bit of John Aitken in me. I don't know.
Maybe a little. Yeah, John's right inside you at this moment.
I fucking.
Who's that behind you?
I don't mind it. Just give me the good lighting, please, and don't let me see him standing up.
And don't touch me with your weird tiny action figure hands. Your little clamp tweezers.
Keep the fingers interlocked, please,
Yeah.
and just give me advice if you fuck me the whole time.
Stay on that side of the room on your big high chair, mate.
Yeah.
We'll bring your bib and your sippy cup in a moment.
This is for you, Tom. This is for you. This is good for you. John, I don't like this and I don't consent. You're learning a lot right now. Just John raping people and telling them it's good for them.
I'm doing this for you.
This is for you. You're going to learn. So if you can't handle this rape on the inside, how are you going to handle it on the outside?
You're never going to find love. I'm sorry, but if you don't let me take advantage of you right now and completely ruin and traumatize you for the rest of your life, how are you ever going to learn?
How are you going to learn? If you don't, if the experiment is getting too much for you in here, if you want this relationship, suck it up. I don't care how much toxicity you go through and how much you fight and how much you are not matched well with your partner, Suck it up if you want to survive on the outside world. Now suck it up as I put my spindly penis up your arsehole.
Diamonds are formed from coal being put under pressure. The right type of pressure. The wrong type of pressure is crushing coal into smithereens. You know what? I'm just here to put pressure on. If it happens to be the wrong type of pressure, that's your problem.
That's your problem.
That's your problem.
All pressure is good. If it's hard, the harder it is in here, the better it is out there. You just can't see it yet.
No.
You're just blind and you're lazy and you don't get it. You're just giving up. Sir, he has none of the traits that I asked for. John Aiken, he has none of the traits I asked for. And he's a completely different person to me. And he's 10 years older than me. And he's bald. And I like guys with hair.
He's a
who are my age.
condescending bloke in an infant's body.
Your standards are too high. It's a problem with you. Maybe instead of blaming the experiment, you should look internally.
Gaslighter as well. What a dream.
Change it to gaffs, not maths. Gaslighting at first sight. Goofs and gaffs. This year we're
I'm John, I'm the goof, and I'm going to gaff people.
I'm going to gaff you.
I'm going to fucking gaff the shit out of you, mate.
John.
I said, tell me how you felt about the first episode.
The gaff also refers to the gaffer tape that they tie up all the contestants with as they kidnap them away to
yes.
Gaff's Island.
Audition. I think the showbiz term is.
Contestant. Volunteer.
Yeah.
Like they don't have a gun to their head.
Free to air.
Yeah.
You're not gonna spend money, but you're gonna spend time and precious moments in your life watching this bullshit.
Free to air and free to leave at any time. You're free to leave at any time. Unless,
in a box.
Yeah. And unless your partner says stay, in which you have to stay for as long as they want to, you cannot leave. But you're free to leave at any time.
It's I'm sure that the couples experts, is that what they're called on the show?
Relationship experts.
Sorry. I'm sure they have their own qualifications and they're professionals in their own right, but it's funny like watching like The Voice where it's like qualified singers. You're watching The Block and it's Scotty Cam, qualified tradesman. You're watching The Footy Show and these are ex-footy players or expert analysts and journalists. This just feels like they just got some like egomaniacal, out of touch boomers in to go, all right, you guys I know you would have wanted to been on the show if you were 20 years younger, but you're old, you're wrinkly, no one wants you. Do you want to bank up your insecurities and then project them onto people in this reality show? We can just call you relationship experts.
You tell people how you would do it if you were here because you can't do it yourself.
Yeah.
Because you're a bit over the hill. To be honest, John Aiken, his legs aren't getting any less spindly. The older you get.
You got some weird sort of spiderweb complexion to your skin. It's like weird translucent white.
I see you've got 2 legs down the bottom. What are the other 6 that are growing? Are you a spider, bro? Are you a spindly spider?
Did you just buy a photographer in New York City?
John, are you the Spider-Man spider? Okay.
Show me your back. Is your back red?
Why? Yeah, is your back red? What's the trail of like white flossy shit that just falls behind you at all time out of your asshole?
Say, I know you just went to the bathroom. There's like 10,000 spider eggs in there right now, and they're following you. What's the go with that?
There must be a spider problem.
All right, okay.
I'm definitely not a spider.
So we actually found you before the show in the Forbidden Forest of all places. Why is that?
How do you know Hagrid?
How do you know a half man, half giant that uses a pink umbrella as a wand?
How does you being Hagrid's pet qualify you to be a relationship expert? You got me.
Why did you fucking pretend to kill Frodo like that?
Yeah. Why are you in Lord of the Rings?
Yeah.
Why are you in Lord of the Rings, John, and how does it make you... What did you have against the Fellowship? And why does it make you hate... Is it because there's a ship in the word? Are you a Fellowship expert and you thought this was a Fellowship expert application?
Yeah, not a
relationship expert.
Yes, yeah.
Just because it's got a ship in it doesn't mean you're qualified.
It's John Arachnin.
Doesn't mean you're qualified. Yeah, John Arachnid Aitken. Just because you're a Fellowship expert doesn't mean you can be... There's tons of words with ships in them, John.
What about just John Aitken, as in he's got...
8 his kin?
8 his kin, or he's got 8 legs, or 8 kin that have 8 legs. This sort of shit just writes itself, brother.
John 8 kin. Okay.
Is he 7 and his kid is 9? Or
Yeah. I think what we found today, Jacob, on this here podcast
is gold.
is gold. I was going to say is that John is a spider, which is gold.
Is it fool's gold? Maybe, but it's shiny and fun to look at.
I guarantee, I promise you that if they took the beautiful lighting off John Aiken and show him for what he really is,
Ghoul.
he has 8 legs.
He's a ghoul. He's
an
a ghoul.
arachnid.
He's a ghoulish 8-legged freak. Yeah.
All I'm saying is I've never seen him and the spider from Lord of the Rings in the same room together.
I've never used the word spindly so much
No.
to describe a human.
He's a spindly. Well, he's not a human.
Oh, yeah, he's some sort of in between.
Verdict's still out on his species.
Yep. We'll have to search the web for that.
Yeah. And then I don't think the other two on the couch know either. I don't think they're in on it.
Yeah, we're not fixating on the one male host and then leaving the other 2
No.
hosts.
That's not easy to do and you get away with it. That's just...
You'll be in the crosshairs next year.
The other 2 are flawless. That's all there is. There's nothing that we can possibly roast them about.
And if you're single...
Jacob's a fan of one of the experts. Might have some Latino heritage.
Mucho caliente is what I would say.
Mucho caliente.
Very hot. Very hot.
Spicy.
So to wrap things up in a neat little web, like a little fly being
Like
wrapped
John
up
would
in
want us to.
Yeah, like John Arachnakin does to his subjects. How would you rate this show, Tom?
MAFS season 2022. MAFS season 22 was not as entertaining as 2021.
You probably watched twice as much though.
I probably did watch more of it, and I think they tried to pull it back as far as the drama goes. I think they tried to have a few, yes, it still looked drama filled, and there was a lot of drama, but I think there might have been an outcry of like, we need some couples to actually get along.
Can we get some substance?
Can we get a bit of substance here so that we can still call this a social experiment that has love at heart?
Sure.
So what would I give it? Maybe 4 tiny, spindly little legs out of 8.
Okay.
See that nice little touch there?
Lovely. Yep.
Yeah.
4 spindly little legs. Where's the other 4?
The other 4 are...
Tickling your anal cavity.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
Tucked under the couch under John Aiken as he's hiding them. He sits...
All right, we're going to commercial. Everyone stand up, walk around, just stretch your legs. I'm fine right here.
Yeah.
No, John, you need to... I'm good right here. My 2 legs, only 2 legs, fine right here. Dangling off the couch.
Why do you get here 4 hours before everyone else on set and then leave 2 hours after? Why do we never see you outside of that couch? It's fine. Don't question it. It's just I need a bit of extra time and makeup. It's fine. It's just me. John's equivalent of, you know how guys, when they relax, they let their gut out? Or they let the gut out or just have a big stretch and stop performing because there's no women around. He's letting the gut out, loosening the belt.
Is eating a fly.
Well, I was going to say his 8 legs sprawling back out. He's keeping them in at all time. And then he has a bit of relief and he goes, oh.
And he just just shits out 30,000 eggs.
Yeah, he's holding in 30,000 spider eggs at all time. When they go to commercial break, he goes, John, what are all those spider eggs down there? Don't worry about it.
You wouldn't get it, man.
You wouldn't get it. None of you are spiders.
You're not a John Spider.
Hands up if you're an arachnid. All 8 of his go up. Fuck.
Shut up.
Stop asking that question, Mitch. You're such a shit stirrer.
Spiders can't lie, okay?
Good, bruh.
Didn't you know that? Spiders can't lie.
That's another thing that we have. You know, that's one of Spider-Man's powers when he gets bitten by
Spiders spy. They don't lie, okay?
I'm called a spider, not a liar.
Not a lie. Yes.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah, that's the gold zone.
That'll do. What would you give MAFS 22, season 22?
Yeah, look.
Out of 10.
Feel very much the same as you do. I second your thoughts. It's good when it comes around, but my God, am I glad that it's only... Shit, it actually takes up a quarter of the year.
It's fucked. It runs for way too long.
It takes up a quarter of the year.
It's fucked. You basically... It's honestly the void between tennis and NRL. And it goes over a month into NRL as well.
Basically, it's happening when Origin is about to start.
Yeah. It's like the season's pretty much over. The Broncos definitely is.
So I would give it, I'd give MAFS 4 broken glasses used as weapons out of 10. which,
yeah, dude.
if you haven't watched the show, go back and watch that.
You wouldn't get it if you haven't seen it.
Long story short, two girls are having an argument. One smashes a glass because she's like, don't fucking tell me to raise my voice. She throws it on the ground. And then later in the show, one of the other girls, Olivia, I believe her name is, goes, she was using it as a weapon and waving it in my face, and I felt very physically threatened and frightened. It's like, all right.
Okay.
Whatever you say,
A
sweetheart.
lot of mayo on that, Olivia.
She yelled it as a weapon over me. I felt threatened.
That's not just a stretch. That's a Bikram yoga stretch.
Yeah. That's a stretch. Big old stretch.
But that's going to be about it for this week.
I reckon that's it.
That is
I
it.
think that's us.
Tom, thank you for your company.
Thank you, sir. Good to get back to a bit of free-to-air content.
Absolutely.
Just the two of us sitting here. We love a guest, but we love just the two of us as well. But I love a guest.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So if you are interested in getting involved in the show, whether it's you want to be on the show or if you just want to get involved and leave us a review, also just support it in any way, subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Instagram, keep up to date with everything OTAP because
We love you.
you should.
You should. Remember what we said about thinking about the things before you say the things? Having the next thought there before you open your mouth. We've talked about this.
Yeah. And my response to that is I'm hungry.
He did it again. Oops.
Thanks, guys. We'll catch you next time.
Bye-bye.